Ciao a tutti! Oggi vedremo la carrellata di annunci che hanno fatto nello State of Play e su fine video ne parliamo e vi do anche il mio voto. Buona visione!
Every time the sun dies, time stretches and tears.
Scan for Soltari signals.
Signal corrupted. Approximating.
Is that the thing from the ridge?
Confirmed.
You better stay out of my way.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Gregory Loudon, Creative Director at Housemarque. Today we are thrilled to show off this first look of gameplay for Soras running on PS5. Soras builds on Returnal's award-winning action and tells the emotional and haunting story of Arjun Devraj's drive for answers on the shape-shifting planet of Carcosa. Here we show off one of our exciting combat features, the Soltari Shield. By holding R1, you can defend yourself and absorb projectiles. By absorbing projectiles, you can now hit back hard using your power weapon. By holding the adaptive trigger on L2, you'll be able to destroy enemies using Eclipse-driven weaponry.
Soltari holocache detected.
Mark it on the map.
Here is a Soltari hololog, where you can learn more about lost Carcosa.
I'll try to forget.
Hold up for me. I will find you. I promise.
This is Second Chance, where you can be revived on first death to get straight back into the action. Second Chance is part of our permanent progression systems, which means you will always come back stronger.
The sun is forever. 僕に任せて。くらえ大地の怒り。
かかってこい。
私の番か。覚悟はいいかい。ありがとう。これでおしまいだ。オイラは強くなったんだ。予想通りだ。何ぼーっとしてんだよ。やることが山ほどあるんだ。早く出発するぞ。さてさてさて。プレイステーション。
Who will be Shogun?
Kurimatsu, why? You'll never understand what it means!
I am Himiko. On my honor as queen, I shall defeat Hiroko.
My timeless friend, I trust you. Nothing will stop me from becoming Shogun.
So long as this dark radiance exists, my fights will continue.
To rule, one must prove their might.
The light of hope lies unseen at the end of time. Go now!
You wish to become Shogun that badly?
Maybe you don't want it enough. What makes a Shogun anyway?
Takachio! Strength and superiority are what make us Shoguns, and I have both!
Strength alone is not enough to end this war!
PlayStation。
Now then, shall we play?
Lights are flashing in the night below. You don't stop the spot to steal the show. Chasing colors that we've never seen, living out a neon dream. Shadows fade beyond the stage tonight. We all go on fly high. Oh oh oh, with a fire in the dark. Oh oh oh, with the beats of your heart. Oh oh oh, let them breathe, take control. Dreams that make you think. Mirror walls reflecting who we are. In the sky to be a shining star. Never lose this magic beyond the door. We're the future looking on your door. Can you feel it right deep inside? The universe is yours tonight. It's just hell. Well, it's not my fireworks tonight. Taking me higher tonight. You are truly my only hope.
Alright. The start of a whole new world.
PlayStation。
As if you can still save them. But the fate of Eterra, the seer, fight against its grip. But in the end, all that remains between hope and oblivion is time. And time leads back to me.
A quiet town. Just like hundreds of other small towns all across America. A town just like yours. But it was here, on October 31st, 1963. No motive, no warning, no provocation, just senseless death. I met him 15 years ago. I thought there was hope, that he could be reached. But what I met was not a child. No emotion. Perhaps not even human. 15 years later, he returned home. But what happened that night was only the beginning. It wasn't just a killing spree. It was a reckoning.
Whoa, calm down, okay?
He was going to reach it. Come on, we have to go.
No.
You can't stop him. You can't reason with him. You can't kill the boogeyman.
Bullet. You do get a command wheel ability that allows you to control your squad in the sense of telling them to throw a grenade somewhere or throw a smoke grenade somewhere, but at least from my experience, it seems like they won't do it unless they're in range of certain things, so its use is pretty limited. Now, the mission eventually progresses into a pretty cool mansion assault, and DICE is showing off some fun set-piece moments here with enemies blowing up entire walls to start off an ambush. And it is pretty cool. I think they did an alright job of mixing destruction into the campaign process. But the gameplay is still undeniably boilerplate, and it does feel like DICE might be rushing just a little bit to get this done. There's a decent amount of character animation jank with non-clean transitions for moving around, or when you're locked into a more cinematic sequence, it can feel a little bit glitchy or hiccupy or hitchy rather. Some of the characters, like a guy giving you a debrief in New York City, will be talking to you and his eyes will be staring off into the distance and not looking at you at all. That said, DICE mentioned that there is a patch coming for the launch build of the game so that bugs that we may be experiencing here could be finished in the final build. So I don't know if I'm complaining about something that nobody will ever experience. Now, when I booted up Mission 5, which is called No Sleep, it starts me off in New York City, and the first part of the mission is, well, let's just call it what it is. It's a Call of Duty Clean House mission ripoff sequence, which I'm totally fine with because that mission in Call of Duty was amazing, and NVG house raids seem like they're becoming the norm ever since that mission came out, so I'm totally fine with DICE having their own version of it. That said, with DICE making their own version of Clean House, it's very easy for me to say that the original Call of Duty mission was significantly better than this one. DICE does add a sledgehammer element to the experience, allowing you to break through walls and make your own entrances, but the AI is much clunkier and the whole ambience of the mission is definitely way off, without really even needing NVGs in the first place. However, this is made up for with a much bigger action sequence that leads you into a subway and then into a train chase sequence, and then out of the subway and then into a bridge firefight with explosions and a ruined train, the set piece sequences are really impressive. The gameplay is, again, still very boilerplate though. Just about as close as you can get to it being a shooter on rails without it technically being on rails. And the narrative and character building stuff that you go through along the way isn't exactly riveting stuff. Maybe I'm missing some character building moments earlier in the game that'll make it more meaningful, but it more or less fits the general bill of that military gruff campaign. The final mission I got to play was Operation Ember Strike, and if the first two missions were mostly an on-rails experience, this mission is the more open-world, choose-your approach to the next objective, but it's done in the DICE way, which means that your choices are a little more superficial than something that's more dynamic and reactive. This is the mission where you get to play the recon class and you can fly your little drone around and scout stuff and even use it to drop bombs on enemies. You have a sniper rifle for long-range sniping. You can pick a vehicle up if you want to get between objectives quickly, but it's usually better to hop out and go in on foot once you're actually in a firefight. This was definitely the lesser of the three missions I played. Visually, it was the weakest, and gameplay-wise, it seemed like it was trying to give me more options, but they were all just really sort of uninteresting. There's even a few comically bad sequences where you get on a switchblade drone launcher. It's basically a UCAV from Battlefield 4, and then you fly into oncoming armored columns, but it's so slow and easy to fly, and the armored vehicles just keep driving at you even though all the ones in front of them keep exploding to your drones. It just feels like the most Lemmings experience ever, and it just completely takes you out of the moment. Now, for the most part though, the Battlefield campaign does, I think, what it's supposed to do. It gives you these big set piece sequences, gives you some sort of idea about the backstory, although I haven't quite gotten all of it from just playing 3 missions yet, and gives you a fairly easy to accomplish combat sequence that everybody can get through and then go on to play the multiplayer. Again, I'm an old school fan. I grew up on Battlefield not having a single player and that not being the main draw of the game to me, and so when they added it, it just didn't really add anything that I was excited about, and it appears that Battlefield 6 is more or less continuing that same tradition, creating a competent but fairly uninteresting gameplay experience that seems to be more about just showing off cool visuals and making trailer clips to market the game. Anyway, it is what it is. It's pretty much exactly what I was expecting, and probably what you were expecting too if you've ever played a Battlefield campaign before. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about what you've seen so far from this video. Are you hyped about the campaign, or is it mostly multiplayer? Also, it's pretty dang hard making a single player a AAA, let alone an indie game, and if you want to see some of the behind the scenes of me working on my own single player game, check out the latest devlog for C-Beams, a spaceship action RPG that I've been working on for well over a year now, and yeah, it's hard work. It's tough making a video game. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.
Another world snuffed from existence.
Our focus, our true objective, is to save this world, our current world.
Need I remind you that tampering with history is strictly forbidden?
It's time I faced my past. Let's go.
Your dues!
PlayStation.
You actually want to deploy her? You cannot be serious.
Cascade is one of our most highly trained operants.
She's been shelved for 5 years. The parties marked her as a failure.
She won't have to do it alone. Her old squad is still out there.
I thought they'd all been ripped to shreds.
Probably. But she can scrape what's left of them back together. Lead them to their deaths all over again.
And what if she butchers it like last time?
We'll do what we always do. Throw more assets at the problem. We have plenty more.
I guess. She's a pathetic, fragile embarrassment. And her methods are so unhinged.
But they get results, no?
Long-range missiles get results.
Show a little faith. We're at the end of history. Everything that could go wrong already has.
PlayStation.
Citizens of Pywell. Today, a new chapter in this land's history shall be written by our own hand.
We fight those who wield power to prey on the weak. Beasts who think themselves men. That is what it means to be a Grey. The time has come to do what we believe to be right. Cliff, seek out your Greymane comrades. Uncover the truth that lies within, and let your heart speak without fear.
In the end, all will come together as one.
We fight for the future of all. Sound the horn of our final battle. Fight! Fight for Pywell!
Your fight is not for revenge, nor glory, nor pride.
This is your hour.
Remember who you are, and let it guide your path. For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.
The question that comes up a lot to us at Insomniac Games is, are you going to make a Wolverine game that is as violent, as visceral as the character in the comics? Working with Wolverine is interesting because part of the route to who he is that he's an unreliable narrator. He has gaps in his memory. So Wolverine doesn't really remember a lot of his life, and that's got to be an extremely frustrating aspect.
He's this ball of rage and fury, but then he could turn on a dime, and he could be very, very kind and tender in the next moment.
When we're casting for someone like Logan, what we're looking for in character traits are someone who can convey a lot with very little being spoken.
When you have that first moment that we show in gameplay, there's so much emotion that you can feel behind his eyes. He looks relentless, he looks gritty, he looks angry, but also he looks maybe a little sad.
That level of acting and being able to just deliver that performance with believability across both spectrums was something Insomniac, ourselves, we all agreed he's the one. We don't need to see anybody else.
Hey, I'm Liam McIntyre, and I play James Logan Howlett in Marvel's Wolverine.
Perfect.
That's not bad. That one sort of works. Fans out there know what Wolverine is, who he is. My job is to try and find the essence of who Wolverine is, especially as he applies to our story. People hurt him, people take from him, people betray him. He still fights for people who can't fight for themselves. It's one of the greatest honors of my life, one of the biggest responsibilities I've ever had, and one of the coolest things I've ever got to do.
The entire game is built around staying true to the Wolverine experience.
And then how do we want to put our Insomniac stamp on that? How do we want to put our own spin and creativity, but still give something new and fresh that fans are going to be excited about?
It's the full package. It is a level of detail that we've never been able to do before.
You could see it in the trailer. You can see pores. You can see blood in between the little lines of his teeth. I love the attention to detail.
It's exciting that we're going to be able to bring that kind of fidelity to players.
Wolverine is a character who goes to many places through the comics.
You'll see the Canadian wilderness, you'll see Japan.
There's a shot where Logan is sliding down that rooftop and you can see the breadth of Madripoor in Lowtown.
It's always nice teasing the depth and the amount of characters that we'll be seeing in the game. Omega Red makes an appearance, Mystique is there, and there are some hints to other characters that fans of Wolverine will recognize for sure.
Another visual element of Marvel's Wolverine is the blood. The blood tech that was put into this game is pretty phenomenal.
There's a part in the trailer where Logan jumps down and then he does the claws up through the face. That one I thought maybe was going to be taking it too far, but I am so glad that we have it. It looks fantastic.
Wolverine's combat, making that special, making that feel like him, making it feel different to anything else you've played, that's a tough job. What's so cool for me is there was this one section of the game I got to try. It was just visceral and immediate and so incredibly satisfying, and I was like, this is gonna be amazing.
We're pretty excited about the artwork that we're using on the cover. It's dynamic, it's rough-edged.
You notice it doesn't look like our past games. It has that sense of urgency and forward movement and rage and fury, and that's Wolverine.
One of the cool things about Insomniac is they are probably the most collaborative group of people I have ever worked with. They make you feel part of their team. That's not something you always get.
We've been in a creative collaboration with Insomniac Games and PlayStation for over a decade now. We've made some of the greatest superhero games of all time, and that was always the goal, making games that are timeless.
I think fans are going to be excited, but I'm also really excited about it because I'm really proud of what we made. We are focused on making the best Wolverine game ever.
On behalf of everyone at Insomniac Games and the Wolverine team especially, we want to thank you for taking time to watch our trailer. We can't wait to show you more in spring of 2026.
Deludente. Sì, questo è il mio pensiero sullo State of Play. Si parlava di un God of War ambientato in Egitto, di un nuovo Uncharted, o addirittura c'era chi diceva di un nuovo The Last of Us, o altri ancora di Final Fantasy VII parte 3. E invece no. L'unica cosa che hanno voluto annunciare su questi giochi appena annunciati, appena nominati, sono semplicemente un DualSense dedicato a God of War e una modalità roguelite per The Last of Us. Decisamente poco, contando con il periodo storico di PlayStation, dove ci sta quell'alone di critiche e massacri verso la console dai propri fan. Mi aspettavo almeno una bombetta. È vero, questo non è uno showcase, stiamo parlando di uno State of Play, però parlando, ripeto, in questo periodo storico, sarebbe servito, secondo me, un qualcosa che metteva un po' più di hype alla gente. I video dei giochi che state vedendo in questo momento mentre sto parlando sono quelli là che mi hanno attirato un po' di più la mia attenzione, ma non così tanto. Il mio voto finale è di 5, proprio per queste motivazioni che vi ho appena annunciato. Io spero che questo video vi sia piaciuto, vi abbia intrattenuto almeno un pochino, e vi invito a iscrivervi al canale, attivare la campanellina, mettere mi piace. Ricordate sempre che Twitch è la piattaforma che preferisco e dove sono più attivo, per cui vi invito a venire anche lì, mi trovate sempre sotto lo stesso nome. Con questo è tutto, noi ci vediamo a un prossimo video. Ciao belli.